The Fundaco, from the Arabic word funduq, a place of hospitality and commerce, is genuinely important as a predecessor institution to Italian merchant and Western banking. The Fondaco was a combined warehouse, trading post, inn, and commercial embassy, a self-contained enclave where foreign merchants could live, store goods, conduct business, and operate under their own rules within a host city. The institution originated in the Arab world and spread throughout the Mediterranean. The idea that the conventional history of capitalism begins in Mediterranean Europe and moves westward and northward is not merely incomplete, it is a distortion produced by the same colonial epistemology that systematically erased or marginalized African contributions to world history. A more honest account must begin much earlier, travel much further south, and take seriously the sophisticated commercial civilizations that flourished in West Africa, across the Sahara, and in the sub-Saharan interior centuries before Venice coined its first ducat or Genoa organized its first campagna. When the Fondaco finally emerged as the institutional grammar of Mediterranean trade, it was not a European invention dropped into an African commercial void. It was the northern crystallization of trading practices and institutional forms that had been developing across the Saharan and West African world for millennia. The Sahara was not always a barrier. During the African humid period, also known as the Green Sahara, approximately 11,000 BCE to 3000 BCE, the region supported substantial human populations, pastoralist economies, and the earliest documented long-distance exchange networks on the African continent. Rock art at Tassili, Niger in present-day Algeria, dating from approximately 10,000 BCE onward, depicts cattle herding, human figures, and scenes of exchange that indicate organized surplus production and trade across what is now desert. The desiccation of the Sahara, approximately 3000 BCE to 1000 BCE, did not end trans-Saharan exchange. It restructured it around the oasis networks and caravan routes that would define African and Mediterranean commerce for the next 4,000 years. The crucial technological enabler was the domestication of the camel in Arabia and its introduction into the Saharan trade system, approximately 300 BCE to 100 CE, which dramatically reduced the cost and increased the range of trans-Saharan commerce. Before the camel, trade crossed the Sahara by donkey and ox, slowly and expensively. After it, the Sahara became a sea of sand, navigable by camel caravan, with a reliability and carrying capacity that made systematic long-distance trade not merely possible, but economically transformative. The Garamantes of the Fedzan region in present-day Libya represent the earliest well-documented trans-Saharan commercial civilization. Operating from their capital at Garama, near modern Jerma, the Garamantes built an extraordinary hydraulic infrastructure, the Fogara system of underground irrigation channels from approximately 500 BCE onward, that sustained agriculture in the desert and supported a substantial urban population. Their commercial reach was remarkable. Archaeological evidence demonstrates that the Garamantes were systematically trading with sub-Saharan West Africa to the south and with Phoenician and later Roman North Africa to the north by at least 500 BCE, creating the first documented bridge between Mediterranean commercial civilization and the West African interior. Roman goods, glass beads, oil lamps, fine ceramics have been found deep in sub-Saharan archaeological sites, having traveled through Garamantian intermediary networks. Sub-Saharan products, gold, ivory, enslaved people, exotic animals, traveled north through the same channels to Roman markets. Parallel to the Garamantian Saharan network, the Kingdom of Kush, approximately 1070 BCE to 350 CE, centered at Meroe in present-day Sudan, developed one of the ancient world's most sophisticated commercial and industrial economies. Kush was the primary conduit through which sub-Saharan African commodities, gold, ivory, ebony, incense, enslaved people, reached Egypt and, through Egypt, the broader Mediterranean world. Meroe was not merely a trading post but an industrial center, operating iron smelting furnaces on a scale that modern archaeologists have described as the Birmingham of the ancient world, from approximately 300 BCE onward. The iron produced at Meroe was traded southward into sub-Saharan Africa, where it transformed agricultural productivity, warfare, and social organization across a vast region. The Ghana Empire, known to its inhabitants as Ouagadougou, represents the first great West African state whose commercial organization is sufficiently well documented to analyze in proto-capitalist terms. Located in present-day southern Mauritania and western Mali, Ghana controlled the critical junction between the gold-producing regions of the south and the trans-Saharan caravan routes leading north to the Maghreb and the Mediterranean. Ghana was functioning as a major commercial power by at least 300 CE, though its origins are older. The Arab geographer Al-Fazari referred to Ghana as the land of gold, approximately 773 CE, the earliest written reference to the empire. Al-Khwarizmi, the mathematician whose work gave algebra its name, mentioned Ghana in his geographical writings, approximately 830 CE. The most detailed early account came from Al-Masudi of Baghdad, who described Ghana's commercial system in his Meadows of Gold, 943 CE, as an organized state economy of remarkable sophistication. Ibn Hawqal, the Arab geographer who traveled extensively in North Africa, described in his Configuration of the Earth, 977 CE, a commercial check, a written order for payment, drawn on a merchant of August, the great trading city at the southern terminus of the trans-Saharan route, for the enormous sum of 42,000 gold dinars. This is one of the earliest documented uses of a credit instrument in commercial history anywhere in the world, and it was operating in West Africa. The Arab conquest of North Africa, 640 to 709 CE, and the subsequent spread of Islam across the Sahara transformed, but did not create trans-Saharan commerce. What Islam brought was an institutional and legal framework, the Sharia commercial law, the Hawala system of money transfer, the Mudaraba partnership contract, and the Waqf endowment institution, that dramatically reduced transaction costs across cultural boundaries by providing a common legal and ethical framework for merchants from Morocco to Mali. The Hawala system deserves particular attention as an antecedent to the Italian letter of credit and the Funduq credit network. Operating through a network of trusted brokers, hawaladars, the Hawala allowed a merchant in one city to deposit money with a local broker and have an equivalent sum paid out to a recipient in a distant city, with settlement occurring through the broker network without physical transfer of coin, documented in Islamic commercial law from approximately 750 CE onward. The Mali Empire, which succeeded Ghana as the dominant power of the Western Sudan, represents the fullest flowering of West African commercial civilization in the pre-Funduq period. Mali's commercial organization was extraordinarily sophisticated. The Deula merchant network, a professional trading diaspora of Manda-speaking merchants, operated across the entire West African region, maintaining commercial relationships, credit networks, and information systems that connected the forest gold-producing regions in the south to the trans-Saharan routes in the north. The most celebrated illustration of Mali's commercial power came with the Hajj of Mansa Musa, 1324 to 1325 CE, the Mali emperor whose pilgrimage to Mecca via Cairo, with an entourage estimated at 60,000 people, and carrying so much gold that his spending in Egypt depressed the price of gold in Cairo and the broader Mediterranean world for more than a decade afterward. The gold Mansa Musa spent and gave away in Egypt flowed directly into the Mediterranean commercial system, into the hands of Arab, Berber, and ultimately Italian merchants, connecting the West African commercial world directly to the Funduq network. Mansa Musa returned from his Hajj with the Andalusian architect and poet Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, 1325 CE, who designed new mosques and commercial buildings in Timbuktu and Gao, transforming these cities into centers of Islamic scholarship and commerce. The Sankor Mosque and University in Timbuktu, developed from approximately 1327 CE onward, became one of the world's great centers of learning, with a library of manuscripts estimated at between 400,000 and 700,000 volumes covering mathematics, astronomy, medicine, law, and commerce, a repository of exactly the kind of accumulated knowledge that William Stewart identifies with the invisible college tradition. By the height of the Mali Empire and into the subsequent Songhai Empire, which supplanted Mali from approximately 1464 CE onward under Sunni Ali, Timbuktu was simultaneously a great commercial entrepot and an intellectual center of the first order. The commercial organization of Timbuktu exhibited every feature of proto-capitalist sophistication. Ibn Battuta, the Moroccan traveler who visited Mali 1352 to 1353 CE, and left the most detailed eyewitness account of its commercial civilization, described markets of extraordinary organization, standardized weights and measures, professional merchant classes, credit instruments, and property rights enforced by Islamic commercial law. He described a society of remarkable commercial probity, merchants traveling safely over vast distances, contracts reliably honored, debts systematically repaid, the institutional conditions that make long-distance trade and capital accumulation possible. While the gold and salt trade dominated the trans-Saharan routes, the sub-Saharan interior developed its own sophisticated commercial economies centered on copper and iron production that are essential to understanding the full picture. The copper belt of Central Africa, in present-day Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, was producing copper on an industrial scale and trading it across enormous distances by at least 400 CE, with some evidence of systematic production going back further. Copper crosses, croissettes of standardized weight, were used as a currency across a vast region of Central Africa, documented from approximately 800 CE onward, constituting one of the earliest standardized metal currencies in African history. The Kingdom of Katanga, from approximately 1200 CE, and later the Luba and Lunda empires, from approximately 1500 CE and 1600 CE respectively, built their political power on the control of copper production and distribution. The Nok culture of present-day Nigeria was smelting iron from approximately 500 BCE, making it among the earliest iron-producing cultures in world history. Iron tools and weapons produced by specialist smelters were traded across regional networks, with the smelters occupying a socially and commercially distinct position as specialists producing for exchange, one of the fundamental markers of proto-capitalist economic organization. Stepping back from the chronological narrative, the most significant theoretical point is the degree to which West African and trans-Saharan commercial civilization independently developed the same institutional solutions to the same commercial problems that the Funduq system addressed in the Mediterranean. The separate merchant quarter in Ghana Empire cities, Arab and Berber traders living under their own laws alongside but separate from the indigenous population, is structurally identical to the Funduq. The Diula trading diaspora, a professional merchant class maintaining trust networks, credit relationships, and commercial conventions across vast distances and multiple political jurisdictions, is structurally identical to the Genoese and Venetian merchant diasporas. The Hawala credit system absorbed by Italian merchants through their Arab commercial partners was itself partly shaped by its passage through the trans-Saharan commercial world. The standardized commodity currencies, gold dust measured in standardized weights, copper crosses of known weight, iron bars of standard size, are functionally equivalent to the coinage and credit instruments of Mediterranean commerce. What this parallel development suggests is not coincidence, but the operation of a universal commercial logic. When human societies engage in long-distance trade across cultural and political boundaries, they independently arrive at similar institutional solutions: extraterritoriality, standardized exchange media, credit instruments, trusted intermediaries, and the separation of commercial from political authority. Africa was not learning capitalism from Europe or the Arab world. It was developing it independently, and in many respects earlier, from its own commercial experience. The Funduq, when it finally emerged as the institutional grammar of Mediterranean trade, was in part the crystallization of African commercial wisdom that had been flowing north across the Sahara for 1,000 years, before an Italian merchant first hung his trading flag in an Arab funduq.